Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the REC podcast, brought to you by REC Comics and Collectibles. I'm your host, Roman Chavez, and with me, as always,
Erik Icarus.
Eric,
what's up?
You can find us on the gram at REC Podcast. You can follow myself at Roman REC Podcast. You can follow the shop at REC Comics. Or you can check us out locally at 7679 North Union Boulevard in Colorado Springs, Colorado. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Holmes.
Yeah.
Digging this new setup we got here.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of a...
We're trying something new.
Yes.
And it's going to work out.
Joining us off camera is the Big Tuna, and I hope that he puts up like a really cool picture of himself, you know?
It'll be a terrible Photoshop.
We're trying something out where we're going to try to make this more of a three-man beast, have somebody who can look up the stuff and talk about the things that we need to talk about. Our if you're a Rogan fan, the Jamie in the chair, as it were. All successful podcasts do that. We're not successful yet, so that's what we need.
That's why we got Jordan.
That's why we got Jordan. He's going to really
make this work, kids.
He's going to legitimize this whole...
make some money.
This two-man operation.
I've been stripping. I make a little money.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, like AJ's always commenting on your hoodie and your sunglasses.
Wait, oh, is he really?
Yeah,
what did
yeah.
he say?
Well, maybe you take that up with him.
I want to know. Is it bad or is it good?
It's somewhat flattering, but it could be better. It could be better. We'll talk about it off camera.
Oh, I gotta know. Yeah, I think the audience would like to know.
Yeah, and they will once you find out. Well, you tell them.
Oh, yeah, right? I will. I'm coming at you.
We've got so our last episode we were talking about all of these rumors and whatnot with the DC.
Oh yeah, a lot
universe.
going on. Yes.
And while I was editing the last pod, some very serious news dropped.
Yeah. Literally that day.
I mean, it's insane, but we now know that Henry Cavill will no longer be returning as Superman,
Yes.
and that James Gunn and how do you say it? It's something Saffin?
Sapphire.
Sassafras. Gunn and
Peter Sassafras.
Yeah, Peter Sapphire.
Saffron. Or something.
Peter Saffron. I mean, they are really just gonna cut this thing down from the bare bones and start anew.
Start afresh.
Apparently, James Gunn has a script that is going to be encapsulating a young Superman.
Okay.
And we're going to move forward with that.
I don't know how to feel about that.
Sounds like Gal Gadot is not going to be Wonder Woman anymore. Sounds like...
Well, he did say back, because he's been getting a lot of backlash on Twitter,
Sure.
And he did respond to his Twitter followers saying that, who said that Gal Gadot got the boot? I think that was his quote. I don't know how to feel about any of this. I don't know, I understand that why bring Cavill back for that awesome cameo in Black Adam and then just to give him the boot 2 months later. I don't know where this is going. I understand he wants to start anew.
Yeah. Starting
fresh, I guess. I mean, I think they should have did this 2-3 years ago. But, I mean, I guess better late than never.
But, I mean, Gunn and Saffron just got this job. So I don't get how you cut Cavill, you keep Gadot.
And you keep Homeboy, Aquaman.
Well, I don't think they're going to... I mean, I don't know how
See, this is where it all, now we're getting a little twisted up here.
Yes.
So do you think... Okay, so you think they release Aquaman 1?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try to think of DCEU's plan real quick.
Well,
going forward, with the old Snyderverse kind of, where do we go?
I think we're getting rid of the Snyderverse.
So you don't think they're going to do? You're not going to release Aquaman 2?
I mean, they're going to have to,
right?
Because it's done. Because it's done.
Okay. Well, so it was Batgirl.
They got to make some money, right?
I mean, I agree. I totally agree with that. But it's like, where do they go from here?
So if they're going to start with young Superman, I think that implies that then we're going to probably start young everywhere else. Theoretically, you could keep Gal Gadot because she's an immortal girl of clay, child of a god, whatever,
right.
Whichever. I actually don't know. Did they actually say that she? I think they did say that she was clay, right? Yeah. You don't recall? All right.
It sounds anti-Semitic.
Okay. All right. Yeah, she's a golem, and you could keep her around because she's immortal. But I just think it carries with it too much baggage. I think we just burn it down. It sounds like that's what they're doing.
Okay.
Because what is a bigger draw than Henry Cavill coming back as Superman?
That was my question. Where can you go from here? I mean, I before we started rolling, I kind of like what Jordan was saying is that I think they want their Iron Man. Because, DCEU Snyder went in guns a-blazing, like, okay, here's Batman, or here's Superman, here's Batman, Superman, here's Wonder Woman. Let's go right into the Justice League.
Yeah.
Instead of, like, what Jordan was saying is, like, oh, we want to have a character where we branch. Am I getting this right? Am I saying this right? Where they want to branch out from this one character to start the universe.
Yeah, and I think the idea is that by bringing in new, younger faces, you can create a world where we follow the characters into these like big team ups. But yeah, I mean, Shazam,
Right.
Flash, and Aquaman 2 are all still slated to be released.
Yeah.
Right. Matt Reeves has said they're moving forward with Batman 2. His Penguin series on HBO Max, the Arkham Asylum series, which is the retool of the GCPD series. Those are currently, as of right now, those are still safe. Mm-hmm. So it looks like what Peter Safran and James Gunn are looking to do is give us kind of an MCU like reboot. But at the same time, it is true that I don't think releasing Batgirl on HBO Max was going to make much money for Warner Bros., but they got to pay the bills. And it is kind of ironic that The Rock did say that Black Adam was going to shake up the power hierarchy.
He wasn't lying.
And it sure did, didn't it? Yeah.
Because, at this point, it seems as if they just used Henry Cavill to hopefully inject some life into this.
And it got people excited.
It did get people excited.
Like, they got them talking, you know, and that's what you want.
To Henry Cavill and I believe James Gunn's point, that decision was made before Gunn and Safran were added to the slate.
Okay.
So they were not integral in those designs. And while they're getting all this hate, I can see us 3-4 years from now praising the new direction of the DCU.
I really hope so.
They have to keep this going. They can't just abide by what the fans want, what we think we want. And I know that sounds weird, but if this is going to work, like, they're going to have to really nail that origin, because I was I was very critical of Man of Steel.
You were, yeah.
I thought it was just all right.
I enjoyed it.
I thought Cavill was great, but there were so many things about that movie that I was just not into, especially with the Kents. I didn't care for the portrayal of the Kents. I want them more like the Smallville Kents. There's a way to go, all right? There's a way to go. There's a way to do it right. They have to be integral, and it has to matter that Jonathan dies. He should die, but he should die much later, and not of like
not
this,
like going, hey, just let me die.
It was not their best representation of these characters. And
I don't know. I did. There was points of it I did like.
Visually
stunning, but I did enjoy the some of the aspects of him being more humble in that movie. You know, I think the love interest was very shoehorned in there too fast.
Yeah,
and Lois fell in love way too fast.
It needs to develop.
Right.
Like, I'm hoping that Gunn can pick people that know, hey, we gotta get 3 good films out of this. Like, regardless of your beliefs, I think probably Cap is probably the best trilogy of the story of Bucky and Steve Rogers. Cap 1, 2, and 3 are is the best told story.
Okay. I agree. Character arc, everything. Okay.
We will see how Guardians Volume 3 works, but as far as Steve Rogers and Bucky Barnes are concerned, their story was fleshed out very, very well. So we really need. I mean, they got to have a strong foundation.
You're right. When they didn't, initially with the Snyderverse.
No.
Unfortunately, they went guns a-blazing with hiring all these big name actors, who I think was kind of maybe their downfall.
Yeah,
they should have maybe did the MCU route, got these unknowns kind of from TV.
But Henry Cavill was unknown.
Yeah, very true. No. You're right. Maybe so was Gal Gadot at that point.
To that point.
So Batman was kind of the spotlight. At this point. Okay.
And he could have been like, your Batman can be the Tony Stark. But if we're going to do this Superman-Batman thing, they do have to be much closer in age, so we're done with that. We're not good.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. I mean, I just think it's also interesting that The Rock unfollowed DCEU and
that is
Black
what
Adam,
was being reported today. Yeah, that he unfollowed Warner Brothers, and which is very much, we see this in sports. We see this all over when there's contract disputes. I hate it. I hate this type of ticky-tacky, just social media drama. I can't stand it. But
if you're in the game, you got to play.
I know. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
I'm hoping that.
Yeah, this is from James Gunn, correct?
This is from The Rock.
Oh, this is from The
The
Rock.
Rock, okay.
So he said, "My passionate friends, I wanted to give you a long-awaited Black Adam update regarding the character's future in the new DC universe. James Gunn and I connected, and Black Adam will not be in their first chapter of storytelling. However, DC and $7 have agreed to continue exploring the most valuable ways Black Adam can be utilized in future DC multiverse chapters. James and I have known each other for years and have always rooted for each other to succeed. It's no different now, and I will always root for DC and Marvel to win and win big. You guys know me, and I have very thick skin, and you guys can always count on me to be direct with my words." Great, very well said, because at the...
Very politically right. He's playing the game.
Playing the game, too.
It's fine. I want this DCEU to be like, I like the gritty route they were going with the Snyderverse.
Yeah.
A little more dark. I really hope James Gunn can maybe make this the comic book version of The Wire, the TV show, where it starts off and you got grounded characters, which I know it's going to be very hard to do grounded Superman, grounded Green Lantern, but have them have more of a personality.
Yeah.
We want to know the person behind the hero, which I don't think they were kind of necessarily delving into as much. They gave us the spectacle, love the spectacle, but as the quote in The Wire goes, all the pieces matter.
Yeah.
So I don't think they were trying that hard to make them connect that well.
Yeah.
Because all the movies aesthetically are beautiful, but they don't look like they match very well.
Yeah.
If you watch an MCU, any of the products, it looks like they all fit.
Yeah.
So I think we need some more continuity here as far as just even cinematography.
The feel
right.
of the movies. But to a different point, I'll play devil's advocate there. I would love for these movies to look and feel like comic books. And when you have these directors, just like when you have writers and artists, they create their own tone.
Of course, interpretation.
Gunn is obviously famous for this, and so I'm fine with that. But definitely that centralized theme and idea. Where are we getting? Gunn has said that Green Lantern is very important,
of course,
to what is coming along. So I mean, I'm a War Light guy. I would love to have the rings be the gems.
Okay.
Just kind of peppered throughout while they're building.
I think that's maybe a little too close to the Infinity Stone.
But now we're going to be really far. By the time they can get to that point,
you think we'll be so far removed from that?
Yeah,
I
think we'll have to.
I think this is DCEU's time to strike it. Phase 4, bye. Awful.
Yeah.
Not a lot of good in there.
Sure.
So I think this might be their time. Maybe you're right. Maybe James Gunn's like, okay, this is our time. Let's start fresh. Let's give
our
them
time now.
Exactly.
Right? Yes, and again, I think that comes with a clean slate. And I get it. We all wanted Cavill, but hey, look, these things happen. We've got Tom Holland as Spider-Man after we had two Spider-Man that we all really enjoyed to their own strengths.
Oh yeah, they were all good.
So we're used to this, but I just want a cohesive story. I was talking with Jordan as he came in. Where does this leave Matt Reeves?
I was going to say, to Jordan's point, I do enjoy that he wants to. Jordan was saying that like they want to keep that as like a pocket universe where it's more grounded. Is that what you were getting?
Yeah, I mean a lot of the reporting suggests that Matt Reeves has said that his Batman is remaining separate and is going to be untouched, which suggests that they're moving forward, but they're not integrating it in with their overarching plan.
That's so crazy to me, just because
it's doing well.
It did do well. Made, I believe, almost 800 million worldwide. In the 770s range. People did enjoy it. It didn't have the fervor that the Joker had, or obviously Aquaman or anything like that. It wasn't highly rewatchable in my opinion.
I disagree with
that's
that.
fine.
Yeah, I think the Matt Reeves Batman is super cool.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Is he my favorite Batman? At this point, he is. Pattinson is up there for me, man. He did it for me.
I do want more, and I'm curious. I'm curious to see if they kind of expand, like make that Batman kind of fold him. I think if you're going to do it, you should. Jordan has heard otherwise that they're going to keep it separate. But I mean, if we've got a young Batman, we can build him in Gotham and then add him to it. But that's he doesn't already have an existing link to the Snyderverse, so we can go that route. Because I don't want to have another Batman, but I think we need one.
If we're going this way, we have to have a Batman in the Gunverse.
Yes.
We have to have that. There's a lot going on with DCE, but they can actually make this work.
Sure.
They can give us two Batmans that are amazing. and 2 Jokers that are amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
Because we've got Todd Phillips' Joker running around out there too.
yeah,
Which, from my understanding, that's not going to cross over into the Reese area at all.
because
so.
how could it? Like
it's too far.
It doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense
you're right.
for that Joker to be getting beat up by Batman. just some mental patient that isn't very dangerous. He's dangerous to an old TV host, but he's not dangerous to Batman. Like, come on. Like, I don't. You're getting me all riled
All right,
up.
you get all around because he did. I mean, you know, it's funny. You think the movie's okay, but you're like, eh.
Yeah,
But when you talk about it, it gets the
it just
the blood.
really boils up the blood, man. We had Avatar come out this week.
Yeah,
And I can say, kids, I have not watched it. I don't really have that much interest in watching it. I'm curious
Jordan
about
watched it.
the phenomenon. Yes, the Big Tuna himself watched it and enjoyed
You know what? You should get in here and talk about it. Also, yeah.
All right. Hey, everybody.
Yeah, he's real. He's real.
Welcome. I'll give it 3 Giovanni Ribisi. Yeah, no, I think as someone who was very just a cursory interest in the first one, I saw it when it first came out, hadn't watched it since. Apparently, I'd missed several minutes of the opening and really was a little lost at what was happening.
Right.
But coming into the second one, it really kind of starts quickly. Jumps us ahead in time a little bit. We definitely get to see more of Na'vi culture. I mean, the first movie is about kind of encountering them as a species. This movie's a lot
they
more...
prefer indigenous culture.
I'm sorry. Yeah, indigenous, but
We're
not,
talking like light spoilers.
but not for long.
Did he get a cable back?
Yeah, well...
He was in the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, he was? Okay,
Yeah,
so
let's not talk about how.
So Stephen Lang comes back. There's a few faces that return. Definitely wanted to show kind of a lapse in time between the first and second. Jake's got a family now. He's kind of leader of this forest tribe. But we really learn in the movie that Pandora is very much there's regional tribes. There's these archipelagos over these massive oceans, and each tribe kind of has its own leader. They kind of do their own thing, and the world of the human interaction in the environment is starting to encroach upon these other tribes,
right.
as
we do,
as one does, and so the movie's kind of about Jake sort of putting down his ceremonial spear, if you will, and saying, I'm going to protect my family, I'm going to take them somewhere we'll live in peace, and then the war kind of comes to him. Sure. So at times it is, and I'm not kidding when I say this, at times it is Moana. At times it comes back into Dances with Wolves.
I was going to say, they're biting off of some other movies that we...
Yeah.
Even the Bible.
You'll get a very strong Moana vibe, because the tribe they move to is they live in the reefs, as they call it, and so they're very much aquatic, and it's cool because you see their physiology as Na'vi are different. They have a different skin color, is kind of a greenish color. Their hands are more fin-like. They kind of have more of a curve to it. Their tails are thicker, so they can swim better, and so they look at these blue skin Na'vi, as like as different.
Race war.
But yeah, I mean the action is fantastic, but just like the first movie, it takes a while to get into. There. There's a lot of stuff there's a lot of similarities and overlap between them. I don't think anybody that didn't like the first movie will like this, but I think people that were fence sitters might enjoy this more, like I was.
Is this setting up for more, I'm assuming?
Well, yeah.
Yes, it doesn't have... I mean, I don't want to say too much about the ending, but definitely it's not so much of a... I mean, the first one kind of does sort of end with like a bow on it, where it's like the villain is defeated, the humans are going to get kicked off Pandora, Jake now fully integrates his body into his avatar, and that was kind of it. This movie definitely leaves some more stuff open and some more possibilities. It definitely asks some questions that it doesn't answer, and I think that's intentional. Sure. I think we're going to definitely learn more about the interconnectedness between... the spirit of the planet, and some of the stuff that they sort of touch back on through flashbacks and through visions as well that some of the characters experience. So James Cameron did say in an interview, obviously 3, 4, and 5 are planned out. It sounds like they've done some photography on at least 3, maybe 4. But so much of this movie takes place in the ocean. They did filming. They did the motion capture underwater. But he did say that like they reference Earth being this dying planet.
Okay.
And James Cameron, we hear a little bit more about kind of the human plans for Pandora in the movie.
Right.
But James Cameron did say that his plan, his vision is that we would see Earth. Now it could be through flashbacks.
Sure.
I don't know if that means they're going to take Na'vi and bring them back to Earth. I mean, there's a lot of different
I
ways
could get behind that.
they can go about it. But
The only way you're going to get me to get excited about this is if we, by let's say Avatar 3, maybe 4, we get some xenomorphs. We get some hybrids. It just integrates itself into the alien universe.
Here's the thing, and I'm not kidding when I say this. There is a lot of similarities in the change in the story between Avatar 1 and Avatar 2,
Right.
as we saw from Alien to Aliens.
Yeah.
And so,
Okay.
and that's
Avatars.
and that's not me saying. I mean, because I love Aliens, it's my favorite movie of the franchise.
Oh, yeah.
It's not me saying it's on that level in terms of its movie, but you'll definitely see some story overlap and some parallels, and definitely in the first movie, it's the hero who's kind of the fish out of the water, and in this movie, it's the villain.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Okay.
Well put. Kids, that's our show. If you like what we're doing, please hit that subscribe button. Let us know what you think of the show below. Are you excited about these new DC changes? I can say I'm bummed about Henry Cavill, but I am excited to see what we can get from it because, again, I loved the Suicide Squad.
Yes, you did.
I loved it. Loved Peacemaker. I love Guardians, so I'm all on board.
Guns.
I like Guns. I like Jimmy Guns.
I have a real quick thing. What happened to J.J. Abrams?
Oh, Big Tuno. Whatever happened to J.J. Abrams? Like his involvement.
They have not found his remains. They're
Oh my gosh.
I've heard that he's still heading up the Justice League Dark. As of August of this year, that he's still involved with the DCEU.
Wow. Okay.
Supposedly, who knows, heading up the Justice League.
Yeah.
Dark.
Remember, he had taken up some big projects. Like
It was supposed to be the Superman.
He was going to be very integrated. Bad robot stuff, and then they said, "No way, Jimmy Gunn."
We need Jimmy Gunn.
Very good.
I forgot about that. We were kind of talking about that, but
wow.
I kind of remembered it.
Thank you. So. Yeah. We'll have to do some more research on that and see where that's heading because it sounds like nowhere good. Eric, do you have any? I mean,
that was my final thought.
That was a great final
anybody
thought.
knows what's going on with JJ? Let us know in the comments.
Below.
Yeah.
Let us know, and again, let us know if you're excited.
And we'll have a producer cam next time.
Who's watching Avatar? Let us know. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. I have been your host, Roman Chavez.
I'm Eric Icarus, the man in the chair
for Big Tuna. We will catch you on the next podcast.